Hey, hi. How are you beautiful people doing today? Yeah. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? As people come in, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna toke up, do a little smoking, you dig? Get with your boy. If you need to get right in any way you possibly can, because yes, today is a blessed day. It is November the 2nd. We are finally in the fall. You see me, I'm wearing the fall colors. I'm wearing wait, how do I how do I let me see if I do this. Oh, I can do it. You dig? We in the fall colors, baby. We in the fall colors. Yeah, man. So what I want to do is I first off want to make sure that the audio is coming through clear. I know I've been having audio issues the past couple of times. Y'all let me know if everything's sounding okay. I might need to check it real quick, real quick. Well, I can't because my iPad dead. Am I coming through loud and clear without no issues? Like, am I coming through clear? Like really clear? It's kind of a big thing for me right now. I just need to make sure. Super clear? Like really clear? Fully clear. Okay, good. That's good. That's good to hear. We've been having a couple problems on the last couple of um, episodes on this series, which is no thing, no thing, no thing. No law requires you to record or pledge your private automobile. And, it gets a lot deeper than just the automobile itself. Really, there's nothing that you got to pledge, period, all across the board. First off, I would just want to say if you're new here, this is your first time. Hello, I'm Cameron James Wilson. I'm the founder and creator of Operation Wisdom and Power Inherent in the People. We are a group of pro se litigants out here figuring out the best that we possibly can in relation to law. And although we may not be perfect and although we may not know everything, I can tell you what this group has recused over 20 different judges. And that's just this year alone. So what I will say is, yeah, man, it's kind of a blessing. It's amazing. We've had a whole bunch of dismissals. But one thing I really want to say is the empowerment that we've seen. The empowerment is just been amazing. I want to shout out in the chat right now. If y'all want to get shouted out as well, you got to go ahead and say hello in the chat. But shout out to Daniel Edwards, my boy Danny G, Breon Smith. Both of y'all, shout out. How y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. So again, Sunday, November the 2nd has been amazing day for me. I've had my daughters for like the past 5 days straight. We had an amazing holiday as far as the Halloween is concerned. Baby girl on Wednesday, just quick updates real quick of what's been going on in my life. My baby girl Luna, my oldest, she ended up spraining her ankle at gymnastics, and so we had to get crutches. I had to carry her all throughout Halloween to get her candy and stuff. Um, but we made it work. She's strong. She's doing good. She's doing better. She's getting better. Um, yeah, we got a lot coming up this week in relation to. I got a case. I got to go out to Salem. I think that's on the 4th, or it could possibly be the 5th. In my situations here in Yakima, I've been given a plea offer, of course, to dismiss a whole bunch of charges to take these, but I'm not taking these because they're against the Constitution in the first place. Um, what else we got going on? We got an answer back just recently in the Washington State Patrol federal lawsuit. So I'm going to be checking up with that and updating y'all on that this week. We just did a SIR reply in my other federal case against Hood River Police Department. Or I just gave a SIR reply. I had to file an amend of leave and then give a SIR reply. So we just submitted that SIR reply last week. And we'll be waiting to hear if the summary judgment is going to be denied, which it should. There's still issues here as far as facts are concerned, so it should just go on to trial with no issues. I don't think they're going to give a summary judgment to these guys. That'd be pretty crazy if you ask me. What else we got going on? I have been taking a step back in the Discord. So if any of you right now, I'm coming back this week. Tomorrow, I'm coming back. But I've just had a lot of personal things going on in my life. I know a lot of y'all know what's going on in my life. And I just keep it real all the time, and I'm gonna keep it real now. I literally have lost my family, and it has been the most devastating thing that I have ever gone through in my life. I never would imagine that something like this would be as painful as it is, nor would I ever thought that what I'm going through or seeing would be seen. And it is one of the most craziest things in the world. But what I will say is that God is good, grace is good, humility is good, love is good, as long as you are staying in peace and love, trying to communicate and doing everything that you possibly can to show and bestow love and bring back unity because this life is so short, right? Life is so short, bro. You gotta work through it, and you gotta You got to be thankful for what you have. And I keep saying that on every episode because there's going to be someone that I'm speaking to that is not doing all that they can for someone that they have in their life. And the Instagram is PIITP underscore. And what I will say, man, is you just gotta love, 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 and keep loving. And hopefully that love returns. And that's all I got to say on that. Empathy and love. And I love my family. I miss my family. I wish our family could unite back together and our differences could be mended. But what I will say is that, hey man, I'm sitting back and waiting and I'm giving it to God. I can't control anything. And yeah, I'm giving it to God. And I hope everything works out. But yeah. All right. So let's get into it for today. Actually, just a couple other quick updates, or just, I guess, some plugs, right? I'm not even gonna not even gonna start here. So let's do entire screen and we will do a share. All right. So let's see. It doesn't show that I'm sharing the screen though. Okay, we're going a little slow. There we go. We got it. All right, so I got the chat still up and everything as well. So before getting into the document, I just wanted to let y'all know again, you can go to piitp.com. Okay. And you can check out, this is, of course, our website. And you can check out anything. If you want to go into the bio, if you want to go into books, if you want to look at the traffic law reform and the petition, please, 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 please sign this. This is a petition to change the traffic laws that are currently in place that are actually punishing people for utilizing their own rights. Okay. And this is our mission. Our mission is to change the violence that is continuously happening over administrative policies and procedures. Also, what I wanted to let you know is that if you did want to get my first book for free, which is The Last Tread, yes, I'm giving a book for free, both in PDF and audio format. If you go to the books link, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom. And if you sign up to our mailing list, you get a free copy of The Last Tread. Again, this comes in PDF and it comes in audio book as well. Okay. And then also, if you need to book me for anything else, bio.site. I don't know why it says SJW, but CJ bio.site/CJW. Okay. And this literally has all my links. So for you can join the Discord, you can join our Operation Wise Dome, which is $72 a month. If you need to book an appointment with me for any matter that you have, I don't care if it's traffic tickets, family law, you're ready to file a lawsuit for the violations, anything in that regard, all you got to do is come to bio.site/CJW. Okay. And everything's here. All the books, right to travel courses, everything's here. Even the notice of liability. If you want to get the notice of liability for $6, it's right there, y'all. Right. Um, so yeah, man, that's how we're starting off today's baby. All right, a couple more people to shout out. We got East Carbon Exposed Fight City Hall. We've got Jaw Healing Comedic. We've also got Sovereign Seeker. What's up, Sovereign? Who else we got in this thing? GP. Yeah, GP. I have a lot of faith that God is going to turn around. And I'm just gonna say, I have a lot of faith that God is going to turn around. Or I feel like God has a purpose in everything. Let's just say that. And throughout the purpose of everything in life, what I've come to figure out is that I have no control. Right. A lot of times we get into the situations where we feel like we have to have control of situations, and we do not. Sometimes you just got to give it up to God. Okay. Where do we get the book? Again, at https//w ps//www.pitp.com/books. Okay. Link is now in the chat for the books and to sign up to get that free The Last Tread for the mailing list. All right. But what I was talking about in my situation is I think you have to really give everything to God. And if you give everything to God, you're going to be all right, man. You just got to give it to God. And that's one thing I haven't been doing. I haven't been giving everything to God. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm saying, God, I'm giving it to you. That's what you got to do. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. All right, let's get into it. So share, baby. All right. So let's get back into it. Where was we at? All right. So from the last part 3, we are now into part 4, which is the private, corporate, state, municipality. or corporate state municipality policy enforcement officer, aka a police officer, the duties and the limitations of power that they currently have. Okay. So nothing is gained in the argument, quote again, nothing is gained in the argument by calling it police power, unquote. Henderson versus City of New York. Sounds great, right? But there is nothing gained in the argument by calling it police power. Quote, an officer who acts in violation of the Constitution ceases to represent the government. Wow, unquote. Brookfield Construction Company versus Stewart. Okay, quote, failure to obey the command of a police officer constitutes a traditional form of breach of the peace. Obviously, however, one cannot be punished for failing to obey the command of an officer if that command is itself violative of the Constitution. I could give plenty of examples. I'll give a quick one right now. I recently just got arrested last week. If you didn't know, we'll be covering that possibly sometime this week. And when I was arrested, the officer ran. It was on my. I pulled into my home in my driveway, so my camera is right there on them. And they out here, they do not have body cameras. So fortunately, I knew what I was doing. I had to get home. I know they don't have body cams, and I knew it was a setup. And he runs up to my car and he tries to open up the door, right? He can't open it. And he says, get out. You're under arrest. No, hey, I'm officer this. No, hey, I'm officer this. And like, no, nothing, just ran up. So it's like, dude, you totally, you're violating the process of how you're supposed to do this, right? Like, and literally took a minute and a half to find, literally a whole minute and a half of dead silence, essentially, for him to sit here and do it properly. Okay, I'm officer blase. And so we'll get into that this week. It's pretty amazing. But again, failure to obey the command of a police officer constitutes a traditional form of breach of the peace. But obviously, however, one cannot be punished for failing to obey the command of an officer if that command is itself violative of the Constitution. Wright versus Georgia. Quote, that an officer or employee of a state or one of its subdivisions, and again, the state is the people, by the way, is deemed to be acting under color of law. Wow, right there for you. So Cameron ain't saying it. It ain't Cameron that's saying it. It's those judges at a higher level of Monroe versus Page. So again, that an officer or employee of a state or one of its subdivisions is deemed to be acting under the color of law. That's a statute. It looks like law. The color of law means it looks like law, but it's not law. It's a policy. As to those deprivations of right committed in the fulfillment of the tasks and obligations assigned to him. Monroe versus Page, 1961. Quote, actions by state officers and employees, even if unauthorized or in excess of authority, can be actions under color of law. What? Can be actions under color of law. What is that? That's that deprivation of rights under Title 18, Section 242. Okay. Let's see. So, quote, the police power of the state must be exercised in subordination to the provisions of the U.S. Constitution. Buchanan versus Wanley. Quote, with regard particularly to the U.S. Constitution, it is elementary that a right secured or protected by that document cannot be overthrown or impaired by any state police authority. Damn! Got him. That's a big one. That one hurts. Okay? With regard particularly to the U.S. Constitution, all right? It is elementary. That means it's basic. That means it's, bro, you don't have to be that old to understand this. Now, I'm going to say this real quick to y'all. There's 32 people in here, but there's only 17 likes. Come on now. 32 people in here and only 17 likes. Can y'all get them likes up, please? Come on, y'all show some love to your boy, please. All right. Oh, let me get back. How do I do that? Oh, okay, boom. All right. It is elementary that a right, meaning right to locomotion, that means the right to travel, that means the right to self-govern, secured or protected by that document. What document? The U.S. Constitution cannot be overthrown or impaired by any state police authority. Period. I don't get what. It's pretty easy. So Donnelly, okay? And another one, and O'Neill. So when officers detained appellant For the purposes of requiring him to identify himself, they performed a seizure of his person, subject to the requirements of the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment, of course, applies to all seizures of the person, including seizures that involve only a brief detention, short of traditional arrest. Whenever a police officer accosts an individual and restrains his freedom to walk, damn, sounds like me and Hood River, bruh, away, he has seized that person. Damn, looks like they're not going to get through that summary judgment. And the Fourth Amendment requires that the seizure be reasonable. What was the reason? So, but even assuming that purpose, prevention of a crime, which what crime? What crime was they preventing? Is served to some degree by stopping and demanding identification from an individual without any specific basis for believing he is involved in criminal activity. The guarantees of the Fourth Amendment do not allow it. Damn, got him. Not working. Not working. Do you see why the Hood River case cannot get granted on summary judgment? I mean, it's very simple. This one's one of my favorite lines of all. Quote, the application of a code or statute to detain an appellant and require him to identify himself violated the Fourth Amendment because the officers lacked any reasonable suspicion to believe that the appellant was engaged or had engaged in criminal conduct. Does criminal conduct not also mean that you must have a corpus delicti, meaning someone that has been harmed or hurt? Yes, it does. Accordingly, appellant may not be punished for refusing to identify himself, and the conviction is reversed. Damn, got him. Browns versus Texas, one of my favorite cases to listen to. And by the way, if you've never heard about this case, which is very important, what you can actually do, I'll show y'all real quick. There's this cool website. It's called OYEZ, O-Y-E-Z, OYEZ.com, right? Brown versus Texas. Okay, and if you just type in OYEZ, Brown versus Texas, it will take you to the website to where you can actually read about the case, but then you can see all of the judges that were involved in this case. And then guess what? If you wanted to listen to this bad boy, like back in 1979, you can listen to the oral arguments all throughout. Okay, yeah, it's pretty badass, bro. Everything gets lit up, like as the judge. You see what I'm saying? Everything. It's amazing, bro. And this allows you to understand what's going on in the court, the legalese, the language that you need to use, right? The arguments that are important and beneficial to you, and how you can apply that to your case as well. Thanks, bro. Perspective. We in our fall vibes, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of fall colors. You know, I love fall time. Fall's like my favorite. So what I wanted to do is give another shout out to Lord Primate, a member. I also want to give a shout out to Arkansas Mark Morris. I see you, Tech G. What's up, Michael Jarvis? What's up, Rocker? And Perspective. Hey, how y'all doing today? I'm glad y'all are here with us. Wow, y'all really got them likes up. I really appreciate y'all. If you're new and you haven't given a like, go ahead and hit the like button. If you don't mind, it helps the algorithm. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are beautiful. All right, another one. Quote, traffic infractions are not a crime, unquote. Let's read that again. Traffic infractions are not a crime. People versus battle. All of my law enforcement, all of my policy officers, all of my people out there that really are trying to, fool us with the foolery. You can't fool us because traffic infractions are not a crime. So when they say it's a crime, they're lying to you. Okay. And you need to rebut that shit. What's up, Willie? How you doing out there in Florida, brother? Now, quote, to this end, the Fourth Amendment requires that seizure must be based on specific objective facts indicating that societies or the public legitimate interest require the seizure of the particular individual, or that the seizure must be carried out pursuant to a plan embodying explicit neutral limitations on the conduct of individual officers. So the officers of the law in the execution of process, what process? The law, are required to know the requirements of the law. And if they mistake them, whether through the ignorance, their own ignorance, don't matter, or they did it by design on purpose, and anyone is harmed by their error, they must respond in damages, unquote. That's Roger versus Marshall. Again, if the officers of the law, this is why I say it's so beneficial to you to understand just a little bit about how this works, because any violation must be responded to in damages. That's why I say, like, damn near everybody got a lawsuit involving themselves with the police. All right. Again, the officers of the law in the execution of process, what process? The law, okay, are required to know the requirements of the law. It's It's not my fault. And if you mistake them, whether through ignorance or design, and anyone is harmed by their error, they must respond in damages. Roger versus Marshall. Oh man, you know what? I didn't even spark up, nigga. What? Let me spark up real quick. You dig? Man, I hope y'all are all blessed today, man. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't go to church much. Okay. I did go to church this morning out here. Man, churches are different from Washington to Texas. Boy, when you get down there in Texas, it's oh God, Jesus. You know, I mean, it's you feel it, you know. When I got in there today, I was like, you know, it's just a different vibe. It's a different culture. All right. There's no black people up here at all, bro. All right, bet. Get this weed going, you dig? Yeah, let's get back started, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Okay. Slow it down, which you know we. As a general rule, oh, we read that one. No, we didn't. Okay. It is a general rule that an officer, executive, administrative, quasi-judicial, ministerial, or otherwise, who acts outside of the scope of his jurisdiction and without authorization of law may thereby render himself amenable to the personal liability in a civil suit. Oh my. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if you're a judge, executive, administrative, quasi-judicial, court of limited jurisdiction, ministerial. Don't matter. Don't matter. Who acts, if you're acting outside of the jurisdiction and without authorization of law, you may thereby render himself personally liable in a civil suit. Got it? Quote, public officials are not immune from suit when they transcend their lawful authority by invading constitutional rights. Damn. That means the right to locomotion. That means the right to self-governance. That means the right to travel. Yes. Yes. Y'all think it's a joke because people have succumbed themselves to stupidity over time, but no more. No more. No more. Police public officials are not immune from suit when they transcend their lawful authority by invading constitutional rights, unquote. Now, moving into government, public servants, officers, judges not immune from suit. So, quote, this one's an important one. Immunity fosters neglect and breeds irresponsibility. Very deep. While liability promotes care and caution, which caution and care is owed by the government to its people. Why? Because the government is a servant of the people, unquote. Civil rights, Rabin versus Rowan. It's a good one right there. That's a good quote. I like that one. Government immunity in Land versus Dollar. The court noted, quote, that when the government entered into commercial field of activity, it left immunity behind. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why is that? Because they can only regulate commerce. That's all they can regulate is commerce. You get what I'm talking about? That's all they can regulate. Everything is commercial on the roads. At least, I mean, not everything, but it's supposed to be. And that's all that they can regulate. Why? Because the road and street within your municipality and within your county codes, if you go look, should be in the very first chapter, in the very first page under definitions. And if you go look at the definition of road and or street, you will find that it says open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. Now, quote, the high courts throughout the citations of authority have frequently declared that, quote, where any state proceeds against a private individual in a judicial forum, it is well settled that the state, county, municipality, etc., waives any immunity to counters, cross claims, and complaints by direct or collateral means regarding the matters involved. Go get them. Okay, go get them. They waive the immunity to any counters, cross claims, or complaints by direct or collateral means regarding the matters involved, unquote. Y'all let me know, is everything still coming through clear? Am I still coming through clear? Is all of this audio still coming through clear? Okay. Now, when enforced, quote, When enforcing mere statutes, judges of all courts do not act judicially. Really? And thus are not protected by qualified or limited immunity. Oh, wow. See Owen versus City. But merely act as an extension, as an agent for the involved agency. Oh, now this is reminding me of a quote I know of that I want to pull up real quick for everybody. Let's go into the old drive, Cameroni. Let's go into the old drive, Cameroni. Right to travel course documents. Where are we at? Supporting educational documents. And then where are we at? There should be where'd it go? Oh, there it goes. This one. I've got stuff all over, bro. Like I've got so much stuff. I don't even know how many pages this one is, but I know I got a certain area. Oh, yeah, it's big. This one's big. This one's not small. See if we can find it. I pull this one up all the time. Oh, there it goes. All right. This is kind of important. Okay. Let's zoom this in for you, boy. Zoom it in some more for you boys. All right. So again, quote, judges who become involved in enforcement of mere statutes, whether it's civil or criminal in nature and otherwise, meaning the quasi, okay, act as mere clerks of the involved agency, unquote. Let's break this down. Judges who become involved in the enforcement of those statutes that are being imposed upon you, okay, any statute, it doesn't matter if they're criminal or civil. Most of them are infractions. Most of them are not really involving a corpus delicti or real true harm. Act as mere clerks of the involved agency. Who is the involved agency? The police department. They're clerks, bro. They're clerks, bro. So, quote, their supposed court becoming thus a court of limited jurisdiction as a mere extension of the involved agency for mere superior reviewing purposes. Wow, unquote. When acting to enforce a statute, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in a judicial capacity. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely administratively. Come on now, man. That's why I had to pull this one up. Same as over here, what we're reading right now. Uh-oh, scroll up. But only in a ministerial and not in a discretionary capacity. Thompson versus Smith. Immunity for judges does not extend to acts which are clearly outside of their jurisdiction. Quote, judges not only can be sued over their official acts, but could be held liable for injunctive and declaratory relief and attorney's fees, unquote. Go get them. Let's talk injunctions. Okay? I might have to file an injunction this week. I'm going to see how my next hearing goes on the 10th. But next week then. Not this upcoming week, but the week after. I might have to file an injunction. I might just file it now. We're going to have to see what's going on. The immunity of judges for acts within their judicial role is beyond cavil. Pearson versus Ray. Quote, there is no common law judicial immunity. Uh-oh. And that was quoted in 70. Love it. Quote, judges, members of city council, and police officers, as well as other public officials, may utilize good faith defense of action for damages under 42 or a Section 1983 claim, but no public official has absolute immunity from suit under the 1871 Civil Rights Statute. What are they talking about? That's that 1871 Ku Klux Klan Act. What y'all know about that 1871 Ku Klux Klan Act? All right, let's move it on to the next one. Take due notice, all government officials, servants, judges, layers, clerks, employees, quote, ignorance of the law does not excuse misconduct in anyone. Oh my God. Least of all in a sworn officer of the law, unquote. That means any person who willingly knows that what they're doing is wrong and they continue to do it anyways, just to get a conviction, to save themselves or save any officers in the involvement of constitutional violations, right? It's like right now, I just got an offer to dismiss a whole bunch of cases to take on other cases that stem from the unconstitutionality of the first one. It makes no sense to me. Like, I just had a meeting with the deputy attorney, bro. Literally just had a meeting with the deputy attorney, and all they could do is be rude, bro. That's all they could do is be rude. They're like, no, then we'll just take it to trial. It's like, okay, then I guess that's what we'll have to do. Or I'll just move it up to a superior court and file an injunction. Like, I'm not going to play with y'all. Like, bro, what? I'm not trying to be rude, bro, but justice has to be served here, man. No deal. Yeah. I'm turning down that deal. Quote, it's not a deal at all. It's not a deal at all. All are presumed to know the law. San Francisco Gas Company versus Brick Weddle. That's why they say they put it out there for you. If you don't see it and take responsibility, it's not their fault. But you got to remember again, what is the law? The law is the common law. Don't harm another. That's it. That's America, bro. Don't harm another. Everything else you can work outside of, bro. It is one of the fundamental maxims of the common law that ignorance of the law excuses no one. No one. So, jurisdiction challenged to all and any at all times. Quote, judge acted in the face of clearly valid statutes or case law explicitly depriving him of personal jurisdiction would be liable. Damn. Uh-oh. Dykes versus Hoseman. Go get him with that. Quote, in such case, the judge has lost his judicial function, has become a mere private person, and is liable as a trespasser for damages resulting from his unauthorized acts. Don't you understand they have a duty? Okay. If your case law is applicable to the situation and you can make it all fit in relation to your argument, and they don't act in favor of you when they are supposed to, they will become liable as a trespasser for damages resulting from the unauthorized acts. Quote, where there is no jurisdiction, there is no judge. The proceeding is as nothing. Such has been the law from the days of Marshall C. Brady versus Fisher and Manning versus Ketchum. Quote, the distinction must be here observed between excess of jurisdiction and the clear absence of all jurisdiction over the subject matter. Any authority exercised is usurped authority, and for the exercise of such authority, when the want of jurisdiction is known to the judge, no excuse is permissible. Unquote. Bradley versus Fisher. I might just, in my next one, I still ain't done it yet, but I might just push for some jurisdiction on the next one. See, I don't normally push hard on the jurisdiction. I really don't, because I'm like all about constitutional rights. Like, that's all I'm about. Like, I know I'm getting violated all day, every day, because I don't harm anybody, right? And when promises by the court are made, and it's on the record that those promises were made, and yet they don't fulfill those promises, that's a violation of my rights, especially parental rights. I have to get my kids. Hey, man, just saying, don't violate my rights. At last, but in fact and in law, such statutes are intended to be applied to those who are here as residents in this state under the Interstate Commerce Clause of the Federal Constitution and the so-called 14th Amendment, unquote. It's a big one right there, bro. So let it be. Notice to all whom these presents may come. If I am here at all, I am. So as a man or woman, I am not here as a resident of any state or nation, nor am I of or in this state, nor am I a statutory citizen of the United States, in Congress assembled, as all are fiction creations of government, and therefore, and as such, no statutes apply to me as evidenced in above cases. I am a creature of nature, the creator, and therefore I am a transient foreigner by nature. While traveling through life, I am here as a interre, as a neutral for a short time. It's so short too, bro. Like, I hate reading, I hate thinking that mode, and I get in these modes where I think about it, and it really frustrates me because life is so short, and the things that we have to miss because of mistakes that we've made that you know that you can fix. This is a big one. The mistakes that you've made, and those mistakes literally turn your whole life, like, or not even mistakes. Let's just take it into power inherent in the people. With my situation, I had God place this in front of me. A situation happened, and I was like, what do I do from here? And look at what happened. Look at where we are now. And that's God working, because we're working to change everything. And you're only here for a short time. And you really got to figure out, like, man, you got to keep it at the forefront, bro. If you go tomorrow, man, are you doing and being the best and cherishing and loving at the best capacity that you possibly can be? You could go tomorrow, bro. You're not promised, dude. Quit taking it for granted like you are. Like, it's already bad enough. We about to die. We living to die. You dig what I'm saying? So make the best of who you are. I don't care what you got, bro. You can go out and talk to some, bro. You know how many times I've been like walking around over these past few months and just been like fucked up? And people have come up to me and just start talking and making me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does a lot. Go out and help someone. Give a compliment. Just give a compliment, bro. On my way to the greater beyond, a steward of my father, mother's great creator, unbearable and unknowingly land and wishes. My document of in and ternere standing are recorded for all to see. See Dred Scott versus Sanford. Notice of full faith and credit. I, me, myself, am a state with standing in original jurisdiction. Y'all hear that? Standing in original jurisdiction. Okay? Standing in original jurisdiction. Y'all know my boy Tanawal Downing is big on this proponent and understanding the depths of what this means. Okay? Again, I, me, myself, am a state with standing. Standing. You know why that birth certificate says notice of full faith and credit? What? Huh? Huh? Hello? A neutral traveling in tenere, demanding of all my rights under God's natural law, recorded in part in the Bible, which law is recognized in U.S. Public Law 97-280 as the word of God, and all men are admonished to learn and apply it. Unquote. So I demand anyone and everyone to notice God's law, which are my maker's laws, and therefore my laws. You understand how the depths of how this goes? I need you to comprehend this. Article 1 of the Bill of Rights guarantees freedom of religion. See, what we've done is we've allowed, like, even within Christianity, right? They've allowed the government and us serving them to just do as you're told. But it's like, bro, sometimes there's tyranny and there's things that are overstepping bounds. Like, your administrative orders are not, they don't supersede God's law. And for some reason, government, I won't say all in general. There's some good, I don't want to say all in general. There's a lot of good people out there that are in an official capacity, right? But there's a lot that are just actually indoctrinated as well. They're not, they don't believe in God. So they believe in the state. And by believing in the state, what they're doing is, succumbing to those policies and procedures. And they can't get outside to understand the depths of freedom and what being an American is. Being an American is standing up on everything that you can for freedom and self-governance. And if you're going against that self-governance, mind your own business, do as thy wilt, as long as you don't harm and do harm to none, right? Then you are good, bro. Nothing can come against you. Constitution for the United States of America, Article 4, Section 1, full faith and credit among states. Self-executing constitutional provisions, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public. Damn, go get them. Records and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may, by general laws, prescribe the manner of which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. So that's the end again of this. No law requires you to record or pledge your automobile. Yeah, man. You dig what I'm talking about? You dig what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. So there's a lot of good case law. This is part 4. We ended this one. We only finished it in about 39 minutes, so that was kind of crazy. What I wanted to let y'all know, like, what we got in the chat. I'll chit chat with y'all for a little bit. What's going down? What's going down? What's going down? What's going down, man? What's going down, man? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? Let me show y'all something real quick. Entire screen. I probably go through one of these bad boys here soon. It ain't this one. I gotta get gotta go to overleaf. Should be in the abatement. Let me see. Is it in here? Yeah, it is in here. So I got a good memorandum I kind of want to go through with y'all. This is an amazing memorandum. I don't think I'll go through it today. I'll probably make it as a separate video. But this is a judicial memorandum of law and fact in support of the right of locomotion and private travel. And when we go through it, like I saw someone in the chat just giving some definitions. And this is really amazing because it goes through everything. Okay, very deeply. Motor vehicle, the driver, somewhat kind of like the right to travel course, but this one's different. We're bringing in a lot more. We got more of a common law approach, but again, maybe even just going over both of the memorandums that I got out here, right? Both the abatement or memorandum in support of the abatement, and then this other memorandum of law, right, in support of the right of locomotion and the right of private travel. It's in a judicial memorandum of law as well. So very high on the scholarly legalese, should we say, right? Bringing in that legalese language on them boys. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I also wanted to let y'all know if y'all wanted to grab my book, man, it is down in the description. You can grab my books. I got a couple of them now. I got The Sovereignist Citizen. Yes, I claim it, bro. Everybody knows it too. If you fuck around with Brandon Joe Williams, they all gonna let you know. If you just go on Brandon Joe Williams' ass, who's the sovereignest citizen of the land? They gonna tell you it's Cameron James Wilson. All right. There is no one more sovereignist than me. You dig what I'm talking about? I am the sovereignest citizen of our nation. I'm telling you this, bro. It is a fact. There's no denial. Okay. The sovereignist. So you can pick up this book. It's for $19.99, y'all. $19.99. It should be down in the description as well. And then we got my big boy, my baby. Self-governing, bro. Self-governing, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You want to go get that self-governing, bro. This one's amazing. It's a big boy. You can get in here and mark it up. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to write. You're supposed to make keys. You're supposed to do applications, reminders. You're supposed to mark it up. Highlighters. That's why it's big. Y'all can both get those down in the chat, or I think maybe even YouTube even puts them down there now. I think they do. What's going on in the chat? What's up, Charlie? Shout out, Charlie. Let's see who else we got in here. Daniel, Arkansas. What's up, tribe? That is true, tribe. Accept others the same treatment that they receive from you. Expect from others the same treatment that they receive from you. That is so important, but that is not always the case. I wish it was, man. I wish that when you gave love and energy to people, that people would reciprocate that and give it back. But there seems to be a lot of ego out there these days, man. The ego has really gotten a hold of people. And it's all across the board, bro. Like when I lived in Dallas, man, like Texas, there's a lot of love. The culture. I was just speaking with one of my Samaj. Shout out Samaj. I was just speaking with Samaj about it. Like Texas has its own culture, bro. And people reach out and they're happy and they're like hello and howdy, and it's an energy. It's a vibe, bro. And I've gone from Texas up to Portland, and Portland was okay. But now I'm in this place called Yakima, Washington, right? And it is not that way, bro. Like, it's pretty bad. I don't like it. And, you know, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a different vibe up here, bro. I wish I could get back down to Texas where I belong. So I'm a Texan. I want to go back. So, yeah, this is part 4 here. And parts 1 and 2 are in the live tab here on YouTube. I'll probably go ahead and formulate them all into a playlist for everybody. But I just want y'all to remember I love you. I know I've been a little bit distant. Bear with me. I've been bearing through, the biggest, most dramatic thing in my life. I've kind of like lost my family here, dude, since this started. So it's so weird. It's not funny though. It's horrible. And but yeah, bear with me. I'm coming through this week. We've had a good week and a half, almost 2 weeks off, to where I've backed off a little bit and kind of recouped. And yeah, bro, I just want y'all to remember that I am you, we're us, and we are all a part of this great I am, which is what we exist in. It's pretty wild. Remember to embrace the good and the bad that comes into your life. Learn lessons from those. Know that it is all a part of life. Make yourself stronger by that. Not just yourself. If you're going through it with somebody and they can be strengthened and empowered with you, then do that by all means. If not, then just do it for yourself and for whatever you have to live for, because there's a lot to live for. I love you all. I'll see you on the next one.